What's up, party people, and welcome to STONIECAST number 178 and season 6, episode 4 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches, and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 178th time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow scumbags, criminals, hoodlums, lowlifes, shady characters, fugitives from justice, heathens, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, scoundrels, wise guys, hustlers, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, MLB players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper. You know who you are, and thanks for watching. Gangsters, fienders with abusive language, cheats, degenerates. Let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, that means you probably fit into one or a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us, gooba gobble, one of us, we accepted one of us. If you don't know, you got to know. Just know the reference. That's all I got to say. Now, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner and ring that bell. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word's also very easy. Just tell other scumbags, fienders, and degenerates that you know to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches right in the search bar. Right? That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word's also very easy. Just tell other, if you don't know what this show is all about, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners. The books, they don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm an outlier and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene.
That's what I do. I go to the mattresses every single week to get you the info in order to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts. Al?
Give me all you got. Listen, give me all you got.
Okay, real quick notes. I'm coming on a little bit late here because I'm still watching the news on Charlie Kirk's shooting. Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point USA, was shot about an hour and a half ago at a rally he was holding at Utah Valley University. And one shot from a long way away. We don't know if he's alive or if he's dead. From what I hear, he's in critical condition. I'm hearing reports that he's stable, but I'm also hearing reports that he's critical. So he's one of the two, right? He's not both. And just horrible seeing this. And I saw the video. Wow. Whoever the shooter was, right? Because they don't have a shooter in custody. There were reports saying that a shooter was in custody, but I just heard the police department say they arrested somebody, but he wasn't a suspect. So they have nobody in suspect, so the shooter's at large. We don't know who it was. And whoever it was shot from a long distance away, one shot. So this person had a chance for a mass killing. There were a lot of people there. And it was just one shot, and it appeared to hit Kirk in the neck. It's just brutal. He's married. His wife Erica is a former Miss Arizona. They have 2 young kids, a 2-year-old boy and a 4-year-old daughter. He's the founder of Turning Point USA, like I said, and he's incredible. He's a really good dude, a God-fearing man, and I'm watching all this stuff, and it's just like, oh my God. You pray for 2 things. You pray for, first of all, his health, and that, he makes it through, and that he pulls through from this craziness. And number 2, they find whoever this scumbag is that shot him. I can't get it. I just don't understand. It's just, wow. It's shock. That's what it is. It's pure shock. I'm listening to Buck Sexton right now. He's talking, and it's just shock. It's, wow. Okay, moving on to much better news for me. I have a computer back now. If you're looking for a computer guy in the Nashville area, I've got the guy. Plain and simple, right? I didn't have to go out and buy a new computer. I got it fixed. 15 minutes it took them. And it feels like I got a new computer. These guys were awesome. They helped me out. They hooked me up. If you're in the Nashville area and you want to know, reach out. I'll let you know where to go. For any Apple device, phone, computer, anything. Anyway, so now I'm back to normal, all right? Okay, now, as I'm doing this, I'm gonna keep one eye on this in case any breaking news comes out. But all right, I'm gonna start with Overreaction Monday. That came 2 days ago, as the sports media is always looking for such a big proclamation about who's good and who stinks. After week one game, and that's all it takes. Everybody overreacts, right? Well, who's the best now? This team can't be the best because they love it's. After a phenomenal weekend of college football in the NFL, all I heard on Monday was about what a classic game the Bills and Ravens played on Sunday night. I completely disagree. I could not disagree more, right? There was no defense and horrible coaching. That's what I saw. And those are the things that are keeping the Bills and the Ravens out of the Super Bowl. The Ravens dominated that game for 55 minutes and shat all over themselves down the stretch. In last week's STONIECAST, I took the Ravens plus the 1.5, so I got the win, believe it or not, right? Even though it closed at, I think the Ravens were -1 or -2 by the time the game went off. So I actually won the bet. But I feel for you Bills fans, right? And here's why, right? It's just a matter of time that Sean McDermott's coaching would cost the Bills, right? It's going to happen. It happened last year. It happened or a couple months ago in January, and it happens every year, right? Sean McDermott is horrible. He's a bad coach, period. All right? I don't like him, and I would not want him coaching my team. Going for it on 4th down. Constantly going for the 2 after a touchdown. Ugh, man. Buffalo was down by 2 with a minute left after going for 2 and failing on 3 different occasions. Just take the extra point and you win instead of having to continuously go for 2. They went for 2 3 times. They're going to lose in January, as they always do, because of coaching. That's what's going to happen. Now, I like John Harbaugh from Baltimore, and I trust him a lot more than McDermott, right? But even he made some questionable decisions down the stretch, so ease up on how great that game was and see how it really was. Sloppy and not good football. Not at all. Oh, their offense was just... Yeah, but you can't win unless you have a defense. And neither team had it on Sunday night. So I don't even want to hear about it, all right? Now, I got a long one here. So as for the week that was, there were both highs and lows. And that's expected when you make 36 picks. 0-1 on Thursday, 2-2 on Friday, and then Saturday was a true roller coaster in which there were really good sprinkles like Ohio, but then head-scratching bad beats like Duke's 5 turnovers, Missouri's late touchdown when they should have just kneeled on it, or when Lane Kiffin inexplicably called a timeout with 10 seconds left, up 10, and allowed Kentucky to get the back door. It was so egregious that even he apologized to the bettors, fienders, scumbags, all you guys, right? It was in the on-field post-game interview. He already knew it, and he said it, right? Now, I did hit the last 3 plays on Saturday night, however, including the degenerate special, and wound up 9-6-1 on Saturday, which I'll gladly take after episode 2's mess, right? Then Sunday NFL rolled around, and I had a rough morning, right? But I turned it around in the afternoon and wound up winning on Sunday night by a half point, in which I probably shouldn't have if Sean McDermott kicks extra points. But it's just, then Monday night comes along, and it was a lot like Sunday night. Big lead in the third quarter with the Bears until they completely melted down and allowed the Vikings to steal the win, which means a very good week turned into an week. That's all it was, all right? So let's take a peek at the numbers right now. Last week, 17 wins, 15 losses, 2 pushes. 53.12%. Can't go broke taking a profit, but that's barely a profit, all right? For the season, NCAA football, 23 wins, 19 losses, 1 push, 54.76%. It's a step up from last week, but it's still early. NFL, first week of the season, 7-8-1, not good, 47.06%. Week ones are usually like this, just like it was in the NCAA last week. Degenerate special, I'm now 2-1 on the season, 66.67%. Thursday night, 2-3 on the season, 40%. Sunday night is 0-1-1, 0%. Monday night, 1-1, 50%. Those are my numbers so far. And overall, for the season, every pick in all 3 STONIECASTs that I've done, 30 wins, 27 losses, 2 pushes. 52.63%. That definitely needs work, okay? Now, please remember that every single one of these picks are 100% free, right? So for all the touts out there that are giving you 75 to 80% winners, Brent Musburger, I see you. Come on. We all know you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks.
Oh!
Yeah. Can you believe that? For with me, it's very simple. Just come to YouTube every week, and I'm going to drop my winners on you for free. All right? You ready? Away we go. Episode number 4. Al, tell us.
Just win, baby.
That's that a boy, Al. Can always count on you to come through. Let's get it started tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN at AFCU Stadium in Winston-Salem, where North Carolina State's a 7-point road favorite at Wake Forest, and the total's 51.5 in a battle of 2-0 teams. NC State has chalked up wins over East Carolina and Virginia, while Wake took out Kennesaw State and Western Carolina. Big difference in play there in competition. Neither team's very good, but Wolfpack quarterback C.J. Bailey is off to a hot start right now, and Wake knows that they won't win many games in the ACC this year. I hate laying such a big number on the road in conference, but State has to be the play here. Wolfpack -7. NFL action tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on Amazon at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. The Packers are 3-point home favorites over Washington, and the total's listed at 48. Still in critical condition, sorry. Both teams cruised to easy wins at home on Sunday as the Pack took out the Lions and Washington beat up on the Giants. I had the Giants and was surprised at how bad they looked. Or was it how good Washington looked? Either way, the Pack at home in primetime is still the play. Sorry, Green Bay -3. Friday night, we got a couple NCAA action, a couple of good games here, right? 7:30 Eastern on ESPN at TDECU Stadium in H-Town. 2-0 Houston's 5.5-point home chalk versus 1-1 Colorado, and the total set at 43.5. Houston's taken out Stephen F. Austin and Rice, while Colorado began with a loss to Georgia Tech, but rebounded with a win over Delaware last week. This is another one where neither team's very good, even in the Big 12, which is up for grabs this year. If Colorado was going to steal a road win, this could be it. They may not get the win, but I'm going to roll with the Buffs here on the road, catching 5.5. Let's stay in the Big 12 Friday night at 9 Eastern on Big Fox at Arizona Stadium in Tucson. Kansas State's a 1.5-point road favorite at Arizona, and the total's 54.5. Zona cruised the wins over Hawaii and Weber State, while K-State is 1-2 after losing to Army last week. These are both schools that have their eyes on the Big 12 title, like Colorado and Houston do, the teams that I just mentioned in the game before, right? I like Arizona quarterback Noah Fafita. I really do. But I like K-State quarterback Avery Johnson more, right? In the Battle of the Wildcats, I'm on the road team here, so I'm going to dance with K-State laying the 1.5. Moving on to Saturday now. Noon Eastern on ABC at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. 19th ranked Oklahoma's a 20.5-point home favorite over Wisconsin, and the total's 46.5. Bama rebounded from their opening loss at Florida State to steamroll Mo, Louisiana Monroe last week, 73-0, while Wisconsin has notched wins over Miami, Ohio, and Middle Tennessee State. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson went off last week against a really bad team, but he needed that to get his confidence back. Wisconsin's going to run the ball. We know that because that's what they do. This is an awfully big number for Bama to lay, right? And right now, because everybody's down on Alabama and they see a big number like that, everyone's going to jump on Wisconsin. I just don't buy it. I'm sorry. Wisconsin just isn't very good this year. Call me crazy, but I'm going to take the Tide here and lay the big number. Noon Eastern on Big Fox at Ryan Field in Evanston. 4th-ranked Oregon's a 28-point road favorite at Northwestern. The total's 51.5. Oregon has put up 128 points in their 2 wins over Montana State and Oklahoma State so far, while Northwestern bounced back from the dud they laid 2 weeks ago at Tulane by taking out Western Illinois last week. Dante Moore is getting more comfortable leading Oregon's attack, and Northwestern's just bad, right? But 28 points on the road, in conference, across the country? Nope. I'm going to take the Wildcats here in every one of those points. Noon Eastern on Big Ten Network at the Big House in Ann Arbor. Number 23, Michigan, is a big 27.5-point home favorite versus Central Michigan, and the total's 42.5. Both teams won their openers and dropped games last week. Michigan quarterback freshman phenom Bryce Underwood, I was going to say Bryce Harper. Bryce Underwood he's had a mixed review so far, right? And that's going to happen all season with an 18-year-old freshman because as good as he gets, he's still only 18, right? But Central Michigan poses no threat here. They're just really bad. Big Blue rolls easily here despite the 27 and a hook. Also noon Eastern on ESPN at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Hot Town. 12th-ranked Clemson's a 3.5-point road chalk at Georgia Tech, and the total's 53.5. Tech has wins over Colorado and Gardner-Webb under their belts. And Clemson, after dropping their opener at home to lose Indiana State, they were up against it last week, but they held on to take out Troy late. Lots of questions for Dabo Swinney's crew right now. And the value's there as the confidence has waned. And while I'm a big fan of Tech quarterback Haynes King, big time, Clemson gets it together here in their ACC opener with a win and a cover on the road in Hotlanta. Normally here I would say that we get more Saturdays in the South with the 3 Fs of faith, family, and football. But at 3:30 Eastern on ABC, I'm going to quote my boy Morgan Wallen and say it's a September Saturday on Rocky Top. As 6th-ranked Georgia comes in as a 3.5-point road favorite at number 15 Tennessee, and the total set at 50. Arguably the game of the day, probably the game of the day. Georgia hasn't been tested yet in easy wins over Marshall and Austin Peay, while Tennessee lit up both Syracuse and East Tennessee State. Georgia's first road game is a tough one, as junior quarterback Gunnar Stockton's going to have his hands full with UT's defense. Conversely, for Tennessee, UCLA transfer quarterback Joey Aguilar is delivering right now. But he hasn't seen a defense like he's going to see on Sunday. This line opened up at 6.5 and has since been bet all the way down to 3.5. This is another 2-play game, and I'm going to take the Vols here at home, catching 3.5, and also take under 50. 2 separate plays. 3:30 Eastern on CBS at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette. USC makes the long trip and come in as 21.5-point road favorites at Purdue, and the total's 58.5. Neither team's been tested yet, and both are 2-0. USC junior quarterback Jaden Mayava leads an offense with a ton of speed, and they're going to try to strike first, strike fast, and strike often. Purdue's going to slow it down, and they're going to try to wear down the USC defense. It's possible, right? It's not going to happen, but it is possible, right? Purdue's just not going to do it, sorry. SC rolls here. Lay the 21.5. 3:30 Eastern on ESPN at Milan Pusker Stadium in Morgantown. The 108th Backyard Brawl adds another chapter as Pittsburgh is a 7-point road chalk at West Virginia, and the total's 57.5. Pitt right now, so far, they have wins over Duquesne and Central Michigan, While West Virginia rolled over Robert Morris 2 weeks ago, they were beaten on the road at Ohio last week and one of my many winners.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
That's right. That man needs his money. Right? You're welcome. This game is never nice. It's two campuses that really do dislike each other, as they're separated by only 75 miles. With that being said, West Virginia superback Jaheim White is done for the year, and the Mountaineers are going to have to find the sledding tough right now, right? They're going to have to find answers, and they're not playing well. Road favorites are tough in rivalry games, right? But Pitt has to be the play here, so I'm going to lay 7 on the road. 4:30 Eastern on the CW Network at Hard Rock Stadium in Bienvenidos a Miami. 5th-ranked Miami's a 17.5-point home favorite versus number 18 South Florida. The total's 56.5. The Canes got a huge win to start the season over Notre Dame before blasting Bethune-Cookman last week. But the story here is the Bulls. Right now, they're the only team in the country with 2 wins over top 25 teams, as Boise State and Florida both fell victim and fell out of the top 25, right? Against a very good USF defense and an efficient quarterback in Byron Brown, who's playing a really high level right now. Miami's got the horses. They're the better team. They get the win here. But I'm 2-0 betting the Bulls this year, so I'm going to stay on course and take USF catching 17.5. Saturdays in the South continues at 7 Eastern on ESPN at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, where number 17 Mississippi's a 7-point home chalk versus Arkansas, and the total 60.5. Arkansas has 2 wins over a couple of junior varsity girls volleyball teams so far. Right? Come on, right? While Ole Miss is also 2-0, but gave me one of the worst beats of all time last week with Lane Kiffin's infamous timeout to allow Kentucky through the back door. Arkansas can be dangerous this time of year, right? And it's this season they can be very dangerous by stepping up and surprising some SEC schools like they did last year to Tennessee. But Ole Miss is still the play here. Despite the uneven play of quarterback Austin Simmons, Kiffin has found something in Missouri transfer sophomore running back Kawan Lacey. Hotty toddy, -7. 7:30 Eastern on NBC. Another one that has claims for game of the week. 8th-ranked Notre Dame is a 7-point favorite versus 16th-ranked Texas A&M. And the total's 49.5 in front of touchdown Jesus in South Bend. A&M has notched wins over Texas San Antonio and Utah State, while Notre Dame had an extra week to stew over their loss to Miami from 2 weeks ago. Mad props to Marcus Freeman for scheduling Miami and A&M to start the season. Got to give him that. A&M dual-threat junior quarterback Marcel Reed is very dangerous, but Notre Dame's defense is going to be ready. Irish quarterback C.J. Carr looked good in defeat against Miami and is looking forward to his first home game. But A&M's defense should also be ready. A&M is also looking for revenge after losing at home to the Irish in week 1 last year. And this one has the makings of another battle that could come down to the wire. A&M +7. That's the play in a close one. They're still...
He's dead.
Sorry. He just died.
I don't really know where you go from here.
Oh, God. Charlie Kirk just died.
I don't know where we go from here in the news.
Alert.
I don't know where we go from here.
Wow. President Trump just announced that Charlie Kirk died.
I don't know what's left for us as a country to discuss when even a discussion.
Whoa. That takes on a whole different... That's tough. That is really tough. Wow. Okay. Hey, but the show must go on. Sorry, Charlie. Thoughts and prayers to the family. Wow. Wow.
I'd love to get your reaction.
Oh, I can't. Whew. Good Lord. His family. Oh, 2-year-old daughter, 2-year-old son, 4-year-old daughter. Young kids, young guy, Charlie Kirk. Oh, man. Sorry. Oh, like I said, the show must go on, though. Charlie, Oh, man. How do you come back from that? That's tough. If you know Charlie Kirk and you knew who he was, this is huge. Oof. Okay, let's move on. 7:30 Eastern on ABC at Tiger Stadium in Collin, Baton Rouge. Third-ranked Louisiana State's 7.5-point home chalk over Florida, and the total's 49.5. LSU, God, I can't. LSU has wins over Clemson and Louisiana Tech. And this should have been a great matchup between a couple of 2-0 ranked teams. See, now I'm all flustered. But Florida had an ouch loss at home to South Florida last week. This game opened at 10, but the Sharps have bet it down to 7.5. Both teams are still loaded, though. And despite their hiccup last week, Florida quarterback DJ Lagway will redeem himself. And with such a big number, LSU is going to leave the back door wide open. So I'm going to take the Gators +7 and a chunk here. 7:45 Eastern on SEC Network at the Willie B in Columbia. 11th ranked South Carolina is a 5.5-point home favorite versus Vanderbilt, and the total's 48.5. Both schools are 2-0, with each notching a win over Virginia Tech as well as a cupcake. Two very good dynamic dual-threat quarterbacks meet up as USC's Lenora Sellers and Vandy's Diego Pavia meet up. This is going to be crazy, these two guys getting after it. I mean, this one's got the makings of a really good one. And as dangerous as Vandy has been covering numbers, Carolina's got to be the play here in front of a ruckus crowd in Columbia. Gamecocks -5.5. 10:30 Eastern on ACC Network at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto. Boston College is a 12.5-point road favorite at Stanford, and the total's 44.5. Let's start with the fact that these are two bad teams, period, right? Stanford lost at Hawaii, and last week at BYU blown out. Another one of my many winners. You're welcome.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Now, with both teams right now clearly struggling. Wait, Joe, was that you?
Struggling.
Come on, Joe, one more time for good luck.
Struggling.
Attaboy, Joe. Every now and then, never hurts. I have no choice here but to take the home dog, right? It's a lot of points, right? They're playing their first home game, and they're catching 12.5 after BC crosses the country. I like Bill O'Brien, but Stanford's the play. Give me them points. And finally, this week's Degenerate Special also goes at 10:30 Eastern, right across the bay from Stanford on ESPN at Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. As Minnesota is a 1.5-point road favorite at Cal, and the total set at 44.5. Both schools are 2-0 against a couple of 8th grade band members, and both schools are expecting to be surprises in their respective conferences. Both teams can score, but I'm going to take the Gophers to finish the college football week with the late night get right. Minnesota -1.5. Now, technically, we have another Degenerate Special going on Saturday night, but it's more like a bonus late night get right. And it takes place around 11 Eastern at the Death Star in America's playground in Las Vegas as Fight Night in Sin City takes center stage. Born in Guadalajara but raised in still living in Juanacatlan, Mexico, Saul Canelo Alvarez is -165 favorite over Omaha, Nebraska's Terrence Bud Crawford, who's a +135 underdog in a fight for Canelo's super middleweight titles at 168 pounds. Crawford's moving up from light middleweight, which is 154, and he's only fought once as a junior middle in last year's unanimous decision win over Israel Madrimov. Names like Spence, Porter, Khan, Benavidez, Horn, they've all fell victim to Bud's speed and power. In 67 fights, though, Alvarez has only 2 draws and 2 losses, one each to Floyd Mayweather Jr. and one to Dimitri Bivol, right? While Crawford's 41-0. Alvarez is comfortable at 168 pounds, where he's lived for a while now. And Craw's never fought with this much weight ever. Bud has multiple world titles in 4 weight classes, from lightweight to light middleweight. The big question is, can Crawford's speed come along with him at 168 when he gains all that weight? Canelo's 35 and Bud is 37, right? But I'm going to take Crawford here in what may not be an exciting fight, because if there's a knockout, I believe it's going to come from Alvarez because he's got the power advantage. But Crawford knows that he has to use his speed advantage to pepper away and win on points. Alvarez has the power, no doubt, right? But his footwork it's been suspect in his last few bouts, right? And he's going to need it right now to try and catch Bud, because Bud's going to be on the run all night. So yeah, I'm taking Crawford to win, and I'm also taking him to win by decision, plus 200 to close out Saturday night. NFL Sunday, Week 2, starts 1 Eastern on CBS at M&T Bank Stadium. 0-1 Baltimore is an 11.5-point home favorite versus 0-1 Cleveland, and the total's 45.5. Both teams shot themselves in the foot on Sunday as the Browns had turnovers and missed field goals in their loss to Cincinnati in a game that they clearly outplayed the Bungles, while Baltimore blew a 15-point lead with 7 minutes left in a complete defensive breakdown as the Bulls beat them on Sunday night in a game that turned into a game of pinball, right? That was not football. If anyone wonders why the Ravens and Bills never make the Super Bowl, Sunday night answered your question. No defense. Cleveland is fucked here. Sorry for the language, but I'm fucking pissed right now. Ravens roll by 3 touchdowns. 1 Eastern on Fox at the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle. Pittsburgh's a 3-point home favorite versus Seattle, and the total's 40. The Steelers, they fought and came from behind to beat the Jets with a 60-yard field goal at the horn, right, which was just crazy, while the Seahawks were beaten at home by the hated 49ers. Now, as a UCLA fan, I hate seeing Sam Darnold versus Aaron Rodgers, as to me it's just USC versus Cal. So is it possible for both teams to lose? Both teams can run the ball, though the Steelers didn't run it very well last week, and Rodgers bailed them out against the Jets. Seattle ran it well, but they couldn't convert in the red zone. This one comes down to who runs it better, and I like Seattle here on the road, catching 3. They're going to surprise the Steelers. And while I'm on it, give me a little sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
Attaboy 40. Every now and then you need a little sprinkle. 1 Eastern on CBS at Snoopyville in New Jersey. The 1-0 Bills are 6.5-point road chalk at the Jets, and the total's 46. Buffalo came from behind to win that crazy game on Sunday night over Baltimore, while the Jets came from ahead to lose to Pittsburgh. Justin Fields looked good. You know, he did. He carved up the Steelers' defense. Josh Allen is who he is, and he carries the Bills. He's going to carry them here, too, as the Jets just aren't in the Bills' league right now. Buffalo minus 6.5. 1 Eastern on Fox at the Superdome in the Big Easy. The 1-0 49ers are 4.5-point road chalk at 0-1 New Orleans, and the total's 42.5. 49ers survived a complete special teams breakdown and won on basically a Hail Mary by Brock Purdy to win at Seattle, while New Orleans all week long was just busy hanging around.
Hanging around.
That's right, Teddy. That's exactly what they were doing. They just, they gave the Cardinals all they could handle, but Zona got the W. As a lifelong 49er fan, I was disappointed in what I saw from them on Sunday. The wide receivers aren't very good. Kittle is out with a hammy, and Purdy's banged up too, and SF might have to go with Mac Jones right now. That's just, I cringe at that thought. Niners could win by 2 touchdowns, but they won't. SF wins, but the Saints get the cover at home. 1 Eastern on CBS at Hard Rock Stadium in Bienvenidos a Miami. 2 teams that look like shit in their openers meet as the Dolphins are 1.5-point home favorites versus New England. The total's 44. Neither the Pats nor the Finns were even in their games last week as the Ravens and Colts beat them up respectively. Also, 2 teams aren't very good. I think Miami bounces back here at home, and they get the win and the cover. 1 Eastern on CBS right up the road here at Nissan Stadium in Music City, USA. The 1-0 Rams are 5.5-point road favorites at the 0-1 Titans, and the total's 42.5. The Rams defense showed out in their win over Houston, while Tennessee's defense was very good too, but they ultimately lost at Denver, though they were in it right up until the end. And they forced 4 turnovers? You know, the Titans are one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL, and the Ram Chops may be one of the 5 best. Rams -5 and a hook. 1 Eastern on Fox at Ford Field in the Motor City. The Lions are 6-point home favorites versus the Bears, and the total's 47.5. The Lions were completely smashed by the Packers on Sunday in a game that most were anticipating, including me, but it turned into a blowout, which was nice because I had the Pack. You're welcome. Pay that man his money. The Bears gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter to the Vikings on Monday night. They had 12 penalties in Ben Johnson's coaching debut, and after a hot start, Caleb Williams went 8 for 17 for 78 yards in the second half. Ben Johnson, he knows the Lions, but Detroit wants to show that he made the wrong choice by leaving last season. Lions regroup at home, and they roll. Detroit -6. 1 Eastern on Fox at Jerry World in Arlington. Dallas is a 6-point home favorite over the Giants, and the total's 44.5 in another game with 2 teams that just aren't very good. Dallas gave the Eagles all they could handle a week and a half ago, but they fell down the stretch while the Giants were just outclassed by Washington on Sunday. Dallas has the edge in rest and a superior roster, but that's a big number to lay when Dallas isn't that good. So I'm going to take the Giants here, catching the 6 on the road in Big D. 1 Eastern on CBS at the Jungle in Cincy. The Bengals are 3.5-point home favorites versus Jacksonville, and the total's 49.5. Cincy didn't play well, but they left Cleveland with a win. As a matter of fact, they were beaten, but somehow they're 1-0, right? While Jacksonville just took out a really bad Carolina squad. Once again, we already know that this year's version of the NFL has a lot of really bad teams with no hope for a trip to the playoffs. And both of these teams beat 2 clearly inferior teams. While both of these teams feel like they're playoff teams, I'm not sold on Cincy, right? But the Jagoffs, sorry, Jack, I know you heard that one. I mean the Jags, they're probably the best team in the god-awful AFC South, right? Cincy at home, as Burrow picks apart Jayville's D, has to be the play. Sorry, Bengals -3.5. 4 Eastern on CBS at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. The 1-0 Cardinals are 6.5-point home chalk over the 0-1 Carolina Panthers, and the total's listed at 44.5. Zona beat New Orleans, and Carolina was taken out by Jayville. Zona, they think they can contend for the NFC title with the Rams and the 49ers this year. They might be able to if Kyler Murray keeps playing like a freaking magician. The Panthers have to travel cross-country against a team that's clearly better than them, right? But in all fairness, most teams in the NFL are better than Carolina, all right? Zona -6.5. 4 Eastern on CBS at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy. The Broncos are 2.5-point road favorites at the Colts, and the total's 42.5. Denver took out Tennessee, and the Colts beat up the Dolphins to set this one up. Daniel Jones looked fantastic for the Giants last week, and he carved up Miami's defense. While Denver, Bo Nix, he survived a bad performance and 2 interceptions to sneak past the Titans. Nix has to get it together, and the Colts defense won't let him this week, right? I'm sorry, but I'm on Indy here. At home, catching the 2.5 with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
That a boy. That a boy. 40, yes. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at racially insensitive Arrowhead Stadium. We get a Super Bowl rematch in Week 2 as the Eagles are 1-point road favorites at the Chiefs, and the total's 47. Both teams are rested after Philly survived Dallas last week, and the Chiefs were taken out by the Chargers in Brazil on Friday. Neither team covered in Week 1 as Dallas played right with Philly for all 4 quarters, and the Chiefs never led in getting beaten by San Diego. A win over the Eagles will clearly not be payback for the Chiefs. That shit doesn't count. But I just don't see how the NFL is going to allow the Chiefs to begin the season 0-2. KC +1 with a sprinkle.
Timer.
Tell him, Earl.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
Atta boy, 40. That's what we needed, right? Give them that sprinkle because I think the Chiefs are going to win this one with some well-timed yellow laundry thrown on the field. And finally, to close out the week, to close out the day, right, after we've been waiting all day for Sunday night at 8:20 Eastern on NBC at US Bank Stadium in Stoniapolis. Minnesota's a 4.5-point home favorite versus Atlanta, and the total's 44.5. The Giants came back from the dead on Monday night to take out the Bears in Chicago as J.J. McCarthy proved Minnie's confidence in him after they allowed Sam Darnold just to walk in the offseason. Atlanta outplayed the Bucs, right? But 2 missed field goals and costly penalties doomed them, despite Michael Penix Jr. looking every bit like a very good quarterback. The Falcons did all this without really running the ball that effectively at all. Expect to see more Bijan Robinson Sunday night, right? But if that's the case, Minnesota's defense is legit. I like the Vikings to win, but this is going to be another close one, so I'm going to take Atlanta, catching 4.5 on the road. Monday Night Football. The NFL chose the second week of the season for 2 Monday night matchups, and the first one goes at 7 Eastern on ABC at Energy Stadium in H-Town, where the Texans are 2.5-point home favorites over the Buccaneers, and the total's 43. Houston didn't look good, and they were overwhelmed by the Rams in La La Land. While Tampa, they came from behind and took out the Falcons in Hot Town. Baker Mayfield versus C.J. Stroud has a lot of cachet, and after Houston had a couple of good runs in the past few years, the Bucs have to be one of the most underrated teams in the NFL as they've quietly won 4 straight division titles. They're in trouble here, though, as I don't see the Texans falling to 0-2. Houston, minus 2.5. And finally, the last game of the week is Monday night at 10 Eastern on ESPN at the Death Star in America's Playground, Las Vegas. The Chargers are 3.5-point road favorites at the Raiders, and the total's 47. First of all, 10 Eastern? Really? That's when the game starts? That's 9 o'clock for me. I'll be able to watch the first quarter and maybe part of the second quarter. That's it. Then I'm out. So wake me up Tuesday morning and let me know how it all turned out. As for the game, both teams look good in their openers as Vegas beat New England on the road while the Chargers beat Kansas City and Brazil. Both teams had long trips back home, and as good as the Raiders looked with a balanced offense of Geno Smith and Ashton Genty behind new OC Chip Kelly's play calling, the Chargers torched the Chiefs' defense without running the ball as most expected. The Chargers can and will run the ball with Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris, but when you put Geno Smith up against Justin Herbert, it ain't a contest. Chargers win and cover to close out the week. That's 18 college picks to go along with 16 NFL picks and the 1 boxing match, giving me a total of 35 for the week. 19 wins would be fine for me, but any more than 20 would be a statement, right? There's lots more action coming next week, right? So keep your eye out for STONIECAST number 179, which will drop on Wednesday. So until then, just remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. And a new one, the less you bet, the more you lose when you win. Shout out to Chris the Bear FALLICA. For me, the action is the juice. The difference between winning and making money is that anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. I miss you, Gooch, my brother. Teddy, take us home. But before you do, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers to you and yours, man, to your family. Unbelievable. I'm still in shock here. But Teddy, seal it.
Kid's got alligator blood. Can't
That's right, alligator blood.
pay him. Pay that man his money.